Good morning and welcome. Welcome to Fight CPS with your host, Bob Pace. And it's a warm welcome because I know that all of you have a great concern, and that's why you're here. It is the CPS, what I call the Child Protection Systems. It's everywhere in every county, in every state. And not all the CPS, the Child Protection Systems, are bad, but a lot of them have gone rogue. And you're one of those individuals that, same as me, that has encountered a rogue CPS system, a child protection system. Now, I'm on this live stream twice a day, 7 days a week. You found me on Facebook, and I'm glad you did. And it's a warm welcome because I know what it is not to know about CPS or how to deal with CPS or the breakup of your family or the loss of your children. I, too, have been fighting them for 15 years. It still hurts me. It still hurts me. It still troubles me what they are allowed to do and what they get away with. But I've developed 5 rules that will help you in your cases. I'm not an attorney. I'm a loving father, a husband. I have over 42 years of marriage experiences, and I've raised 6 children. And it affected my family at that time of 3 younger children. My 3 older children are grown up, have families of their own, and very successful in life. But my family and I, the 3 of us, the 5 of us, experienced something very tragically. And in my case, it was in Orange County, California, and the entity was the Child Protection Services. Now, because there's so many different names, because right next door we have the LA County, and they call themselves Department of Children, Family, and Services. So anyway, I've developed a lot of nice, good people that have come to my live stream. And I have 2 of them in here right now. I have Felicia from Ventura, California, and Maria. I think you've been on there before. And I welcome both of you. There's some people that have really gone through a very horrible experience and shared it to me on the live stream, and I've tried to help. Now, I want to go over several ways that you can participate in the live stream right here. One of the first ways is just by being in here. And I'm glad to see we have a lot of people with a lot of interests, and I want to keep that interest. I want you to understand this is an interactive live stream, meaning that you can text in messages, you can call me, you can be a guest on my live stream, and you can talk about your case. We have people here that will help you. And I want to welcome a new person. I don't think I know Douglas Linemeyer. But anyway, you're welcome. That is so hard to hear about that, Douglas, and I will give you a warm welcome on that. You're dealing with an entity that's gone rogue. A lot of places has gone rogue. I've been talking now for 17 months. I started in October of 2023. I've been continuously doing this 14 times a week, twice a day. My shows are on at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That's on the west coast of California. And then again in the evening at 7 p.m. Now, they're 1 hour live stream. So if you miss one, you come back to the other. You can be a guest and schedule to do whatever. But I am here. Some of the things I do say do help you. Good morning, Betty from Betty Joe's from Montana, and welcome. How's your flu? Betty yesterday was so sick, and she has the flu bug. And she is a foster mom. She's a beautiful lady that had fought to have her niece be guardianship of her, went through all the right things, and then the rug was pulled from underneath her, and her niece was taken away. And that's pretty hard. And of course, Felicia is dealing with finances and wants to hire a good attorney. Yesterday you were talking to me. Yes, Betty. Oh, I'm glad you're doing well. Cruel, you were talking to me about different names are sent to you. You only deal with the name that's addressing you. Other names you don't have to address to there. What you can do is very nicely on the front of the envelope, don't open it if it's not addressed to you properly, put down there, do not know the person, does not live here. And you send it back. You send it back. Excuse me one moment here. Okay. So Douglas and Cruel and Betty, and I believe the other person is Maria. Yeah. Maria, I forgot where you're from. If you could tell me. And Douglas, where's your case at? Where's your case? In fact, I need to put up the little expression. When you're going to text a message in this room, please list your first name and then the city or the county and the state your case was in. And if you're from another country, your country. I do have about 21 countries that have participated that have actually called in. Okay, Maria, I'm sorry I forget, Maria, but she's from North Carolina. Now I remember you. Now I remember you. So, Douglas is the new kid on the block. The rest of you have been in here before, so you know my routine. And again, it's a warm welcome to all of you, and I'm glad you come back. I'm glad you come back, and it's very, very important. I help you all resolve your cases. It isn't you're dealing with an entity that is so barbaric. I don't know what else to describe them. I feel like you're Alice in Wonderland. You found the rabbit hole, you went down it, and you encountered the Cheshire cat who directs you from one room to the next room, and you don't know what's going on. That's how complicated and how bad CPS can be. They are corrupt, they're not transparent, and they get easy access to funds. The federal government has no accountability. The money is sent. It's $1 trillion business that CPS is making, and the money, maybe it will be, because I know with our new administration, they're investigating government entities, and social services is one of them. Yes, the child protection system is a part of social services. They're mandated by Congress to protect our children from neglect and abuse. They do so by using layman calls and professional calls. Now, professional people are right about 75% of the time. They are trained, educated. They're like policemen, doctors, nurses, teachers, administrators, healthcare providers, etc. They go through training how to look for neglect or abuse and how to report it. The other kind of individual that the social services relies on are lay people, and they're right about 50% of the time because they use a lot of things against a neighbor. They don't like the way the yard's growing on their property, so they'll make up a story about CPS, call in CPS. CPS comes out and investigates the neighbor and finds out they don't even have children. Or there'll be someone about a dog barking. Or somebody wants to alienate one parent from another parent, so they'll call in CPS. You never want to call CPS because you don't know what you're opening up a can of worms. It isn't safe to do so. You call the police. You call 911. They will go through the proper channels. But you have to have a documentation, because if you call directly to CPS, they're going to assume that you're guilty, and they're going to take away your children, break up your family, and you never see your kids again. And I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you from firsthand information. I have a 22-year-old daughter not seen since she's 12. At age 12, she was told by a social worker how to get rid of your parents. And it was a horrible thing what that social worker did, because the social worker was retaliating because my attorney, Vincent W. Davis, caught her perjuring herself under oath. She lied, and they do lie. CPS does lie, and CPS is corrupt. Not every entity is corrupt. There are good CPS and bad CPS. And when I talk about CPS, I mean the Child Protection System, whatever name. If it's the board in Richmond, Kentucky, that's CPS. If it's the Department of Children's Service in Prescott, Arizona, that's CPS. So when I say CPS, I mean Child Protection Systems. Every state, every county's got one. There may be 1,000 CPS in one state, or there may be only 10. It depends on how many counties. Look up the states and say, how many counties do you have? That's how many CPS, because every county has social services. And social services is the main arm of the agency, the health and welfare agency that helps out families. Not only are they supposed to protect their children, they're supposed to offer food, shelter, clothing, transportation, medical, educational, and even a job. That's responsive to social service. Furthermore, Congress has mandated they have a body, and that body is supposed to protect her children. And if it's necessary, if the child's in extreme danger, they can rip apart the family, but they're supposed to put it back together. You know, nothing is more terrible when a family's broken apart. Studies have shown the best parents to raise children are biological parents. If a parent has a hiccup, they can come back and they can take classes or do whatever they need to do on that. Now, I need to go back and address some of the things that people are saying. Betty says, I think I'll have to get off, but I think I know what is happening or what is going on. Yes, Betty, tell me. Douglas says he hired 2 attorneys, one for my wife and one for my guardian son. Good. Stole our, stole our car, took our 13-year-old daughter as a joyride. He never had driver's ed yet. Okay. And you're in Marietta. I think Marietta is in Wisconsin. Okay, Marietta County, Wisconsin. Recently, my mom's Adult Protective Service social worker arranged to sit down a conversation between himself, me, and my older brother. The POA is my mom. My brother believes that due to me using drugs, that's bad. They're kidnapping. Well, yeah, there are kidnappers, Betty. They have been true from the very start. CPS are kidnappers. They always have been. They make money. You see, if they go and investigate a family and they don't take the children, they get no money. In order for them to get money, they have to tell the county to get a number. They have to tell them they have somebody in custody, meaning they have them in foster care. And once they're there, they get the money. And the money is really high. In my case, my 3 children, the county was getting $20,000 per each. That's $60,000 a month that they're getting from the county. And the county had unlimited money from the state, who has unlimited money from the federal government. I'm talking $1 trillion. So I know it's about kidnapping. They're the only agency that can legitimately do trafficking, which is illegal. Now, Cruel, who's Felicia, says over a year and a half again, I've had my 1-year-old and 1-month-old clean. You've been clean for 1 year wonder, but the drugs I did while my mom wasn't home affected my mom to the point she now has a type of schizophrenia. I'm so sorry to hear about that. Maria says, my two grandsons were taken from my home August of 2024. I was a temporary safety provider. CPS stated that it's only about reunification with parents, not grandparents or other family. That is wrong. Grandparents and other family members have every right to the children. Grandparents, there's a guide right now that Vincent Davis has. Um, and let me put that number up here so you can see it. The number is 888-888-6582. And that guide is a grandparent's guide to guardianship and to seeing your grandchild. And it's really important. It's only $9.99. But if you use my discount code of PACE50, capital P, capital A, capital C, capital E, PACE50, you'll get it for half off. Call into the number 888-888-6582. Tell them that Bob Pace sent you. And with that being said, they will help you. They will help you. No, Vincent Davis does travel. He will defend your case. All you have to do is set up a meeting with him, and there's several ways you can do it. One way is for free, and that's to be either a guest on my podcast or the call in, and he'll talk to you for 15 minutes, a private Zoom conversation. And so let me catch up. I got a lot of calls this morning here, so I need to catch up with a lot of you. It's really busy. So I just answered Maria's question from North Carolina. We have Douglas. I have no idea where you're from, Douglas. It would be really nice that you tell me, but welcome. I'm looking for a real effective CPS attorney than a civil attorney. Yes, so you can do a civil lawsuit. Well, I got the magic number. His name is Vincent W. Davis. I have to go no further than that. He has 39 years of fighting CPS, and he has been doing it for a long time and has gotten over thousands of children returned. He also does civil lawsuits, and he sued CPS both in state court and federal court and won millions of dollars. In fact, CPS uses his videos to train their workers to how to fight against an attorney like Mr. Davis. So I'm telling you, Douglas, if you need an attorney, you can cut through all the chase and call 888-888-6582. Tell them you want to set up a meeting with Vincent Davis to talk about him, his references, ask for 3 references, and talk to him about representing you. And I'll be glad that you did. I'll be glad that you did. And make sure when you talk to them, you tell them that Bob Pace sent you. And when you do talk to Mr. Davis, tell them that Bob Pace sent you. So, Douglas, I got you an attorney right up your alley. It will help you. Felicia, who is cruel. No medical or legal professional agrees with this claim, but it's been a huge deciding factor in my CPS case. My brother automatically is considered credible as he's a Navy chief. Well, just because you're in the military doesn't give you any more credibility than if you're the bank manager or you're a McDonald's restaurant chef or whatever you are. Credibility depends on your background and who you are as a person, your integrity. You just got to get an attorney that'll fight for you, Felicia. Cruel says, but the same Navy chief made my mom a victim of elder abuse by her own son. Yeah, well, if that's going on, you need to get an attorney, Felicia. How many times I told you, you're not going to fight this case by words. You have to fight it by action, and you need an attorney. And you're in Ventura, California, so Vincent can go up there. But he's not the only one out there. For all you listening, there are attorneys like Vincent W. Davis out there. I know firsthand. I had one for my wife. Actually, I had two for my wife. I know of 3 attorneys like Mr. Davis that will fight, that will work together. I had 2 of the best attorneys fighting, and I got my 3 boys back. But it takes money, and I know it's sad. I had to sell my house, quick sell my house to get the money. I made it happen. I made it happen. Now, Cruel says Vincent Davis can handle both of these legal matters. I know you're telling that to Douglas. This YouTube page has videos and shorts from the attorney himself as well. Thank you, Felicia, for sharing the information for Douglas. And good luck to you, she says. See, this is a good room. You have people that care in here. We are a family. We care about one another. And thank you, Tom, for being in here. Tom Washington, I know you have a case that a lot of this is like true. Where are you from, Tom? Where are you from? I know that Douglas is from Wisconsin, and I appreciate having that. We have Maria from North Carolina. Felicia is from Ventura. Betty Jo's from Montana. You guys are great. We're going to make this happen. I agree, Betty. I know what's going on. They are kidnappers. You got it right, Betty. Okay, let me get down further here. Cruel says no medical or legal professional agrees with them. I agree. Again, you need to have an attorney to present your claim. Maria says, I see my grandsons Tuesday after 189 days. They're not okay, 2 and 4 years old. We don't know if they have them doped up with medicine or not. The 2-year-old I raised since the hospital. Oh, that is so sad, Maria. Douglas says, our kids removed November 13th, still not be able to plead innocent yet. Well, Douglas, you need to get an attorney. If you haven't got an attorney, you're not going to get anywhere. One of my first rules is that you need, okay, Betty, you take care. God bless you, and please get better, Betty. Thank you for dropping in. Douglas, you need to get an attorney. And one of my rules is you need to find one. And I have one. But I tell everybody, get quotes from 3 attorneys. And there's 2 very important questions you ask these attorneys. The first question you ask is that, are you a trained and licensed juvenile law, family law, dependency law attorney and have fought CPS and gotten children back? If the answer is yes, you go to the second question. Have you, after the case is closed, ever sued the CPS either in state court or federal court and won money back from them? If the answer is yes, you got a pit bull of attorney. You need to talk to them further. You need to set up a meeting with them, see how much the retainer is, and ask for 3 references, explore the references, and you'll be really assured. Now, Vincent Davis is one of those 3. I cut to the chase. You can call him. You can contact him. You can set up. And if 15 minutes is not enough time to talk to him for free, I have a program where you spend $60 and you can talk to him for 30 minutes. It's going below my page there. You go to that website, use your credit card, and you hire him. You hire him. And he will talk to you for 30 minutes for $60. And you can talk to him more about that. And it's tough, Tom, going through it. I don't know where you're from, Tom, but It is tough, Tom, and I'm glad you're here. Now, Maria from North Carolina, he does travel. He does travel. And you need to see your two babies, Cruel. You need to see your two babies. You need to get that attorney to set that up. And Cruel does say he does travel. Yeah, he does. You just need to talk to him and try not to. The easy way to talk to Vincent Davis, all you're listening, is just to call in to my phone number. And I'm going to put my phone number up because it should be up by now. My phone number is 626-698-0990. If you call in and speak, you'll get a free 15-minute Zoom meeting with Vincent Davis, a private consultation with one of the top attorneys in the country. And you can talk about anything. You can talk about your questions, prioritize your questions. But all you have to do is call that number. Or you could be a guest. And to be a guest on my podcast, you're going to contact my show producer, Grace, who works very hard behind the scenes. And I thank you, Grace, for what you do. Send her an email, one of my 14 shows. You just pick one day of the week, and you pick morning or evening. It's easy. And then she'll send you a link, and you'll be on in no time. You'll be on in no time. And her email is grace@vincentwdavis.com. Grace@vincentwdavis.com. So there are lots of ways you can interact with this podcast. And I want to help you all, and I'm glad you guys are asking me questions because that's what makes the live stream go so well. There's a lot of questions, and we have a lot of new people in here. We have Douglas and Tom who are new. And how do you stop this? First step is to get a lawyer. Second step is to document everything. You need to document from day one. There's one important document you need to build. It's called a timeline log of incidents. Every incident you're involved in, you make a piece of paper and you devote 3 sentences to that incident. The first line, you put the phone number, the date and time, the location, the people you talked to. The second line is a summary of what the incident was about. The third line is the outcome of the incident. And you do that for every incident. So 6 months from now, you'll be able to remember it all. That's important. Document. Also, number 3, do not talk to social workers. Do not let them in your home, and do not let them take your children. Do not let them take your children. Same thing goes for police. They use police to intimidate you. That's wrong. They're supposed to protect the social workers, but they abuse the power. So you're going to have a really tough time. Watch the medical trafficking. CPS workers work in the hospitals and urgent care and so forth. There are probably attorneys up in Marietta, Wisconsin. Again, you have those 2 questions you need to ask, Douglas. And I'm available if you want to call in. That's my phone number. I'll answer it. I only answer my phone during my live stream times. Now, I have a new person here called Free Stephen Avery. My attorney tried to trick me into a mission, and the judge denied it. At least I think that's what happened. Okay, Free Stephen Avery from Wisconsin. I have 2 people from Wisconsin. I have Douglas and Free Steve Avery, and welcome there. You got to be careful with attorneys. If you guys are going to use the court-appointed attorney, the attorney that the court provides you, you have to keep in mind that attorney is hired by CPS. That attorney is only a criminal attorney. That attorney has a caseload of 30 more clients. They will not fight for you. They're not going to be on your side. They're on the side of CPS. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. Thank you, Maria, for making a Facebook page, Save Our Kids. That is so good. That's so good. I love to check that out, Maria. Maria's from North Carolina. Um, Free Stephen Avery says, if it's true, if they refuse to help you, you sue afterwards. They're not working for you. They're working for the government, and they'll do whatever they want to get you to plea. I know. I know from experience what they are like. And you're right. And if, by the way, if they don't work, if you're forced to use a court-appointed attorney, then you tell them this. If you do not work for me, I will sue you. In fact, I will call the state bar and complain about you as an attorney. So you tell them right off the start, you work for me, you don't work for CPS, and you make them work. The problem is they're young, they're inexperienced, and they don't have the background in juvenile law, family law, or dependency law. And that's the area that you're in. That's the area that you're in. Now, Maria says, Save Our Children. Okay, that's the name of her Facebook page, Save Our Children. Well, that's a good one, Maria. It's not every CPS entity is bad out there. But it seems like over the 1,000 people I've talked to in here, that I've hit all the rogue ones. I've hit all the bad ones. In fact, I've had 21 countries. I've had Indonesia, Bangladesh, India, Saudi Arabia, Libya, and then over in Africa, I've had Liberia, and I've had Sudan, Rwanda, Mozambique, and then 2 provinces in South Africa. Then up to Europe, I've had England, Scotland, Wales, and Denmark, and Sweden. Then across the pond to North America, I've had 4 provinces in Canada. All 50 states have talked to me, including the District of Columbia. I've had Mexico down south, and then in South America, I've had Grenada. Then across the South Pacific, I've had New Zealand, and then 2 states in the land down under, Australia. So I've talked to a wealth of people, and the common thing all these countries have, and all you have, is they took your children when they weren't in danger, and they do not want to do family reunification. And it's hard. It is really, really hard. Hi, NYP. Glad that you're back. NYP is from California City, California. They had a newborn child that CPS took because they thought they broke the 11 bones. The child had 11 bones broken. She has a bone disease like rickets that are so soft, if you touch the child, the bones break. So during the early stages, the doctors did not know, the nurses did not know. They're the ones who broke the bones, but they're fighting CPS because the parents are accusing of physical harm to their child. And they're fighting the case. I've helped them. NYP from California City, California has been on my show a long time. So is Maria from North Carolina. Free Stephen Avery is new. Welcome. Douglas is new. He is also welcome. Tom is new too. I have no idea where Tom is from. By the way, Douglas is from Wisconsin, Marietta County, Wisconsin. Cruel is from Ventura, California. And her real name is Felicia. And Betty, who had to leave, she'd been fighting the flu. Yesterday she was so sick. But she's from Montana, and she's fighting to get her niece back. And she had her niece, all proper channel. But they took the rug from underneath and pulled it and took the niece back. I want to make sure I don't forget anybody else out here. I think that's all the people that have called in. All right, we're at half past the hour. We have about 25 minutes left of the podcast. Or 20 minutes left. Now, NYP says, yes, I'm having a moment with all this March is coming up. It's just too much. Be calm, NYP. Trust your attorney. Make sure your attorney does his job. Make sure the doctor is subpoenaed and everybody is subpoenaed to support your case that the child has a disease, was born with that disease of the softening of the bone tissue. It's really important you emphasize that. Be professional, dress professional, act professional. There's no need to be emotional in court. These people are very hardened by it. So you got to be proud and stand up there. You're there to fight to save your children. And I'm here behind you. I'll say special prayers for you. I know how hard it is. I realize how hard it is. And thank you for the emojis. Um, Liswa Willie, thank you. And Amanda Magnolia, thank you for the thumbs up. And then I have Philistine from Canada, who's a longtime family member here. She's from the indigenous tribe in Canada. She's with the First Nation people. In Canada, they call their Indians First Nation. In the United States, we call them Native Americans. They are the first immigrants to the continent of North America. And also, I have from Lanza Willis and Mark. I'm sorry the face that you're all upset about, and I know how confused and it is. You're born here and you don't know about CPS. I did not know anything about CPS, and I was stupid. I made a lot of stupid mistakes, and my life didn't happen at an early age. It happened when I just turned 60 and I lost my job through no fault of my own. And that was in 2010. I had a great job, great home, great family. But unfortunately, I did not know how bad lay people can be. And my in laws, my wife's mother and father, and three sisters and brothers, called in for 5 years complaining that we weren't taking care of our children, making up false stories that didn't make sense. And I dealt with CPS week after week, month after month, year after year. They finally got tired of all this and got a hold of the police, who tracked me down and ordered me to come home and ordered me to open my home, which had been seen before. They were fishing. They had a task force of people waiting for me at my home. They had 5 firemen, 2 code enforcement, 3 social workers, 2 uniformed policemen, and the detective that ordered me there. And stupid me did not know about the constitutional rights. You don't have to open your home. You don't have to talk to them. What you do is you tell them, I have an attorney that needs to be present. Since this is a criminal matter, I want my attorney present. You have every right to have an attorney through all phases of your criminal matter. It's your constitutional right. And you do not have to talk to these individuals. You want to go through your attorney. Let your attorney do the talking. Let your attorney fight this case. Yes, it involves money. But I sold my home. I quick sold my home. My home was worth a lot of money, and I lost a lot of money. But I needed to get my kids back, so I hired the best attorney I could in the country. And it was very costly, but I got my 2 boys back. Unfortunately, we lost our daughter. And that was through no fault of the attorney. That was because social service is so corrupt that they did retaliation against us as a family. And I ran out of money because I want to sue the child protection system, but I did not have the money to sue them. Now, I mentioned about finding an attorney, and I mentioned about documents. Put all that paperwork in a notebook, as thick as you can, 3, 4, whatever inches. 3-ring binder. Punch all the holes. Put your court papers in there. Get some subject dividers. Organize it. Look at your documents. Document everything. Try to take pictures and recordings of everything. And you can do that at public places like McDonald's or Starbucks. Don't meet with them at their office. Don't meet with them, in your home. You don't want to open your home. They need warrants to do that kind of thing. And like a fool, I told them too much. They'll use everything you say against you. Use everything you say against you. It is a very emotional time the CPS can be. And I know a lot of you are sometimes sick to your stomach about it. But you have to stick with it. You got to fight for the love of your children. All of you that come in here, the over 1,000 people, are here because you love your children. If someone's doing physical damage or neglectful of their children, they're not going to come to me. They're not going to come in a room like this. They're not going to ask questions, concerns. It's you people, you 1,000+ people that I talk to worldwide or here in the United States. I want to help you. I care about you. When you come to my room, you're welcome to come back time after time. A lot of you do. I have a family of 25 to 50 regular people that come in my room twice a day, 7 days a week. I will not disappear on you. I care that much about you. There are so many times I wanted time off or away from this or stop this. But I think about you all, about how you need that moral support, how you need that advice, things that are so simple that I wish I had done and follow, like get an attorney, do documents, say no to social workers, say no to policemen. And if you're ever outside and you encounter them, just say you need to have your attorney present, that you'll get back to them. Be nice to them. Don't say anything. They will use it against you. Also, watch the medical trafficking. That's where you bring them into urgent care or to emergency room because your child has a serious problem. Don't talk to social workers there. They hang out there. They hear something, they automatically say, we want to take your child. Do not let them. They need to have a warrant to take your child. Also, if you're going to have a baby, don't let them take your child. I've heard from stories, horror stories, where the police, the social worker walk in and demands a baby. You tell them to get out of there. You do not invite them in. You don't have permission to be in here, and you need to have a warrant. You got to fight for your family members. They've gone overzealous. They've gone bad. And all I have to do is talk about examples, and I have hundreds of examples. One example is the Pink Ladies of Prescott, Arizona. 8 social workers, been doing this for a long time, decided they think it'd be funny by buying pink t-shirts. Now, the idea of pink is breast cancer awareness, but this wasn't breast cancer awareness. This was them to put a stencil message on the front and back of their t-shirts. On the front, it said professional child kidnappers. And on the back, they said, parents, you know where your children are at. Now, they parade around in Walmart, Costco, Target, Best Buys, Sears, Penny's, J.C. Penney's, May Company, all the big stores to send a message to parents. And it was horrific. They were caught. The city fired them, as well as the director. The director and 8 social workers, that's 9 people, were removed from that office that had 10 people. And that one person had to answer the calls and had to do the investigations. And so real children that were hurt are being physically abused or neglected, were falling through the cracks, all because of the selfishness of these 8 social workers. They're all were female, they're all were white. And why they did it, I have no idea. I think a social worker should be schooled and educated in social work. They should have a college degree in social work. They should have a minor in clinical psychiatry. And then they should also go for a master's before they start to work in social work. Before they start working in social work, they need to get a license, take a written test, and the license needs a statute of limitations, so they renew it with new things that come up. That's what a social worker should be. My social worker didn't even have a high school education, was not married, knew nothing about families, was in her early 20s, and all she talked about was her bonuses that she'd get, how she'd get a new Gucci purse every week, her eyelashes, her makeup, her jewelry, her accessories, her clothing, her BMW car. That's all she talked about. She wasn't interested in our case. She already done her part. She got the $20,000 a month for each of her child. So that was terrible. That was terrible. Now, rule number 4 I have is you need to research the internet. The internet has all your answers. You just need to format your questions correctly. You start off with the city, then followed by the state, and then followed by CPS. And you'll see all kinds of stuff that goes up. Now, if your city's small, like Athens, Georgia, you might have to put Athens, comma, Atlanta, Georgia, and then CPS. If you're from another country, you need to put your country up. You put the city, then you put the country, and then you put CPS. And you'd be surprised what pops up. And if you want to filter it down, put down specifically what you're looking for in CPS, like the ICWA law of 1978, the Indian Child Welfare Act of 1978, or maybe it's how to file a 388 motion, or what is a 388 motion, what is a 160 hearing. There's so many things you can look up, but you got to have it definitely phrased right to find the information. Spend 60, 80 hours in there. And rule number 5 is all you have to do is make copies of all your documents to have them in an envelope. You don't have to have the originals. Your birth certificates, your children's birth certificates, your marriage license, your driver's license, your children's grade reports, your children's shot records and medical records, all the necessary documentation that you have. Put it in an envelope, put it with your notebook, you're all set to go. You're all set to go. Now, all of you suddenly have stopped talking, and I don't know if that's the way the show does. I don't know, but let me try to refresh it and see theirs. Okay. Yes, NYPCs has said some other things too. I know it's heartbreaking, but hang in there, NYP. Hang in there. Now, Free 7 Avery, my attorney isn't a court appointed, but he acts like it. Well, you may have not selected the right attorney. You know, it's so important that you identify the right attorney. A criminal attorney, even if you're paying for it, will not defend you. You know, trying to say you need to spend all your money, but you need to get a professional, licensed juvenile law, family law, dependency attorney who has a track record of fighting CPS and have gotten children back. And even better yet, if that same attorney's done civil lawsuits and won millions of dollars, both in state and federal court. Remember the 2 questions I told you to ask? That's the kind of attorney you need. That's the kind of attorney you need. Now, my phone number's up if any of you want to get a free consultation with Mr. Davis. It's 626-698-0990. You know, to speak to Mr. Davis, he could charge you $600 to $1,000. And I'm offering it to you for free for 15 minutes or $60 for 30 minutes. Okay, I have less than 10 minutes left. My podcast has to end right at 11 o'clock. I'm at the 5 minute mark. And so it's very important that you text me your questions. I'm going to take my phone number down because there isn't time for a phone call right now, really. I'll be on again tomorrow. Not to panic. You can call me tomorrow. But I do want to help you. If there's a quick question you can ask me by texting in, that would be great. Please use the format I have for texting in questions. It's either a comment or a question about CPS. Show your first name and the city or county and the state or country your case uh, was in. And try to tell me what you can about your case so I can help you. Now, I want to thank all of you that have been a part of this live stream. I want to thank Free Steven, um, who's from Wisconsin. And I want to thank NYP, who's from California City, California, Maria from North Carolina, and Douglas from Wisconsin, who's the new one, Cruel from Ventura, California, Betty Joe from Montana, and Tom Washington. I never knew where you're from, but you're welcome. You're welcome in there. So I hope you all got something on this live podcast. Please join me tonight. That's Friday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the West Coast of California. I'm here again to talk about your questions and to help you pull through and getting your kids back. Don't give up. Keep fighting for them. God bless you all, and thank you so much for listening. This is Bob Pace signing off.